and just nice to have on top of the already nice yields you get from just supplying ADA to liquid finance. Now, as I mentioned, there's only 2x yield stream right now in Cardano, but there has been announcements of SundaeSwap utilizing the rewards distribution system for LQ and partnering with Liquid Labs. So this is going to accelerate the growth of those 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th yield streams as this progresses. Finally, before we dive into the video on the actual tutorial on how to use the platform, we're going to go over the parameters, as these are pretty important to know. Keep in mind that what you see here is the mainnet parameters for the beta release, the current release as of making this video, and they may change since if you're watching this at a later date. The main things to note are for borrowers, as the fees for minting and burning and staking and supplying aren't really too much, except for the minimum amount of 100 ADA, but the liquidation threshold is 80%, the liquidation bonus is 10%, and the market reserve factor is also 10%. Now we can jump into the actual application, which is the Liquid Finance app. Now, first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to supply some ADA. In order to borrow ADA at the moment, you have to have QADA, which comes from supplying ADA. When you supply ADA, if we click here and we've already connected our wallet, you're going to have to enable collateral too. I'll leave a playlist from JPEG Store on how to enable collateral, how to fund your wallet. If you're confused and you haven't gotten this far, or if you want to fund it from another blockchain. But in short, you have to supply some ADA. So we're going to supply 200 ADA. It's a minimum of 100, keep that in mind. And you can see here the QADA exchange rate is about 0.200. So 1 to 50 ratio for ADA to QADA. And then each QADA you own allows you to borrow that much in the next section of the video at a 75% rate of collateral. So you basically have to have 25% more than you're borrowing. So first thing, we're going to supply this ADA. We're going to make sure everything's right. Supply APY, we're looking pretty satisfied with that. Hopefully it stays like that. And we have our collateralization enabled. So we're going to supply the ADA, sign the TX, and we'll be on our way. Now, you may be wondering why this doesn't load right now in your wallet. And this is QADA, the asset we're receiving. We cannot view it as there is some backend things waiting on being pushed. After you sign the TX and it went through, you should see this message that you supplied however much ADA you have just supplied. Okay, and after supplying, you can now see in your supply section basically what you have supplied and your balance of supply in US dollars. This is about $80 worth in ADA right now, and this balance is calculated by taking your QADA and converting it back to its underlying asset to get that total value. So keep that in mind. The APY is 4.27%. Well, as I said, that just went up. And then back down again, and the collateral at the moment is 0 ADA. Basically, the Q token balance used in collateral in other borrows, which are about to perform, and you'll see how this changes as we borrow some ADA now. In order to borrow, like I said, you're going to have to be supplying so you can have collateral backed up. Now, this may not make much sense. Why would you supply ADA to borrow ADA? But this is the beginning of the DApp. Now, there may be some scenarios which you want to do that, but most scenarios this opens up for is when we have different types of tokens to borrow against one each other to long and short assets. Okay, so now the next step is going to be borrowing ADA. This is pretty simple. We just click on the borrow button here in the bottom right, and we can request up to a max of 149 ADA to borrow, as this puts us at our limit of 75% of what we have supplied. So what we're going to do just 100 ADA to keep our health factor higher, but I'll show you how it impacts it if you go closer to that upper threshold, as you will have less collateral in comparison to how much ADA you are borrowing. So we're going to click max here, and this puts all of our QADA, which is about 10,000, as 1 ADA is 50 QADA currently. And then we go here and we can see that the borrow APY is 12%. So this is the APY that we have to pay to the people supplying the ADA we are borrowing. And our health factor is at 1.59%. Liquidation is at 1.0%. Or 1.0, sorry, not percentages here. But if we up this to 149, this puts us towards our max threshold of how far we can go and how much ADA we can borrow. And the health factor goes down considerably and gets a little bit riskier, as if the price of ADA changes, we could get liquidated and lose our collateral, which is $20 more worth than what we are borrowing. But we're just going to do 100. And we are going to get ready to sign this transaction if we are satisfied with, one, the health factor, and assume this risk is okay with us, and also the borrow API we are going to have to pay on this if we choose to borrow the ADA. If we're okay with that, we sign the transaction and we borrow the ADA. You can now see we're getting 98 ADA, basically 100. It's a bit off for some fees. And we are losing our Q ADA, which we can't see right here, but this is our Q ADA we are losing, aka this is a collateral we are putting up, which is currently worth $80 USD, and we're taking out $40 worth of USD. So we're probably going to want to repay this or get liquidated or not get liquidated so we can have our assets back. After the bar goes through, you will see a success message and you can close this tab. And now you can see that things have changed quite drastically. We can see our health factor here and our liquidation value. And we can also see our net APY has went down to negative 1.39% as we are borrowing ADA and receiving rewards on it, but in total, we have to pay back this as well. So our net APY is going to be negative 1.39%, which is actually still pretty good considering that we're borrowing assets right now. And our borrow balance is $40 and our supply balance is $80. Finally, though, we're going to close this position by repaying it. As you can see here, we have 100 ADA in debt, and I don't really want to pay 12.72% APY, even though our net APY is still pretty good. We're going to go ahead and repay this by typing repay amount. We're going to click max. And then you can see here that we're going to get our remaining debt back down to 0, and we're going to receive our QADA back. If we sign the transaction, it'll form, and you'll see the details. We're losing our loaned out ADA, and we're paying it back, and then we're getting back our collateral, so we can go and withdraw our supply if we want after this too. Now that our repay has went through and we no longer are borrowing any ADA, we can see that our net APY is back up to 4.27%, and our Q ADA balance is back up to 200 in ADA value. And we can then go ahead and either supply more ADA or withdraw this from the platform for now. Whatever you want to do, that's going to be up to you. But that pretty much concludes all of Liquid Finance right now, and all of which I am capable of explaining in a thorough and hopefully digestible way to anyone trying to use the platform. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to go ahead and withdraw this for now, maybe supply some more ADA later, but definitely keeping an eye on the APY, and we'll be messing around with the platform as new tokens come onto the platform, and also the ability to earn LQ and claim it comes to the platform, allowing for additional yield streams. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in tomorrow's video. Bring your friend Jack, stake with the Jack stake pool, and earn some passive ADA if you want, or go ahead and put it on Liquid. That's really up to you. And I want you to make your own decisions, and hopefully you're equipped with the knowledge to do so now. See ya. Peace. Later.
How y'all doing? Y'all good? Oh, man. Thank y'all so much for coming. Oh, you guys ready to be offended? No, don't fucking say that and then go on Twitter afterwards like, oh, Matt has some opinions of his own and end my fucking career, okay? Just want to have a good time tonight, all right? Comedy almost isn't fun, okay? Having to adhere to everybody's sensitivities. Since when? That shit is so new. Remember like 3 years ago when no one gave a fuck about how you felt? Like 3 years ago, if you were in public and we were like, I don't like, a stranger would come up and be like, shut up, bitch, and punch you in your chest. Like, now I hurt on the outside and the inside. I feel like we've gotten so sensitive as a society, man. We've gotten so soft. Like fresh out the pool dick soft. Only the fellas understand that. You get out that cold water, you don't even recognize yourself anymore. You're like, whose dick is this? Who put a baby dick on me? That's how I feel like we are as a society, man. Just on soft. It's exhausting. So I'm glad we could all come together for a night of laughter. It's good to see y'all. Black people. Good to see y'all. White people. Sitting in the back. How's it feel? the rules. It's weird because it's given me the perspective of not judging people based on how they look. I'm a big fan of that. That's why I like the masks. Love it. You don't know who's ugly with a mask on, do you? It's kind of a fun game to play, isn't it? Just walking through the grocery store like, does this bitch have a beak? Like, you don't know what people's situations are. You got to get to know them before you can judge. Like, you wouldn't be able to just assume I'm a douchebag if I have my mask on. You'd have no basis. I could walk into any Starbucks with my mask on. They would just think I'm any random lesbian. You know what I mean? I could be anybody. Could be anybody. Go in, they're like, what's your name? I'm like, Matt. They're like, you are so brave. And the code to your bathroom is 4... Man, the masks made it so hard to holler at people, didn't it? Because you don't know what 60% of their face looks like. That shit was so dangerous. You ever talk to somebody for a while and you're like, I gotta know. You gotta come up with some like cute, clever way to get them to pull their mask down. Say some dumb shit like, have you smiled today? Have you smile? I feel like you have a cute smile. Will you give me a smile real quick? And you've been chatting forever. And she's been all eyes. And she's like, oh, I don't know. I guess I could give you a little... Like, no, God damn it. Oh, my God. I talked to you for an hour. I gave you my time. I had no idea. But I like it. I'm a big fan of not judging people based on how they look. Because if there's one thing we all have in common, every single person in this room, is everybody's going through something. Right? Everybody in here is dealing with some shit that nobody else has any idea about. I go through shit all the time. You guys would have no clue. Like, one thing you might not know is I have terrible luck. Bad random shit happens to me all the time. And I'll tell you an incredibly embarrassing and humbling story. Need a moment. Just thirsty. Last year, I had to have surgery on my nipples. They're fine now. You can stop looking. Last year, I ended up developing this freak medical condition. Like, this shit is so rare. It only happens to, like, 12-year-old boys and 80-year-old men, and somehow I'm both. Like, it's so rare. My doctor looked me in my eyes and was like, I don't know why this happened to you. I was like, first One hoe in the back, just like, yeah, it just opens up. It's crazy. It just does its own thing. Dudes come out of her pussy like this. I think it's so true. It's so much less work. All you technically have to do is like, you know what I mean? Like, that's all. Just be punctual. That's your only responsibility, is to be on time, because we will start without you. That's the only requirement. Do you realize as a man, like, there's a certain level of excitement I have to get, and I have to maintain this excitement the entire time while I'm focusing on a million things. I'm focusing on me. I'm focusing on you. I'm switching positions. It's a full court press the entire time. You focus so much that sometimes you go quick. You fuckers leave me hanging on this right now like I'm the only dude who's at my special. Y'all gonna disrespect me like this. Y'all ain't shit, man. Oh, I'm the only person ever to bust fast. Hilarious, you guys. Y'all ain't shit. You know that? It happens to the best of us, okay? There's no need to be a big deal, be a big problem about it. Would you be mad if your food came out early at a restaurant? No, you'd be like, the chef is killing it. I got all this time for activities. I don't come fast, I just respect your schedule, okay? I know you gotta take your kids to school in the morning, so. Sex is hard. The build-up is fun, though. Like sexting. Sexting is the most fun. Oh my God. Dudes love sexting. We're so good at it. Because we're just lying the whole time. Oh, it's so easy. We lie so much. We talk so much game of what we can't wait to do to y'all when we see it. We ain't doing none of that ever at all. We're like the J.K. Rowling of dick pics. Like, we just writing fairy tales. The shit we are never gonna do to y'all ever. We set the bar too high. We say crazy stuff like, girl, when I see you, I'm gonna put you up against the wall. I'm gonna fuck you in the curtains. Like, you ain't fucking nobody in the curtains. You've been to my house. I got blinds. You want me to scratch my back up? Not very practical. I lied recently. That's how the game goes. I was sexting with this girl, and like, I could see where she was going with it, but it was just rude of her to assume. Like, I was sexting with this girl, and she was like, I'm only 103 pounds. You could throw me around. Like, I What's your favorite picture? Or, just vague shit I don't care about. And about like 4 or 5 minutes after this, she just knocks out. Like, not a subtle, like, starting to feel a little bit tired. Like, just straight, yeah. And then, like, she is slumped. And now it's her asleep, me under the covers, and I'm staring down, just terrified of this Samsung TV box. And all I could think is, this bitch didn't say goodbye. Now I'm terrified, up by myself. I'm trying to wake her up. I'm like, hey, Allison. Hey. Great. She's asleep. Now I gotta play with it by myself. So I start jerking off, and she wakes up straight out of an exorcism, and was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh God!" And I swear to God, a spirit left my body and hit her right in the face. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Oh God. I never saw her again. To this day, I'm not convinced she wasn't a ghost. Wouldn't surprise me. That's why I can't mess with young people. I really can't. She was 25, 26, just put off of it. It makes me feel so much older dealing with somebody like that. I do feel older. I date older women. All my friends are older. I fucking hate kids so much. Kids fucking suck, man. Oh my God. They're so garbage. I don't like young people at all, man. We just don't click. I don't know none of the apps that they're on. What's the one app that literally every kid is on it? No. Amber Alert? Every kid is on Amber Alert, aren't they? It's like, man, ain't nobody looking for you. How many followers you got? Enough for a search party, I hope. See, this is hilarious to me because I can feel the hypocrisy radiating off y'all right now. Like I'm the asshole. That's adorable. Okay. When's the last time you got an Amber Alert on your phone and your first reaction wasn't, oh shit, how do I turn this off? How do I... none of y'all, like, we gotta find these kids. Not one person. Y'all haven't found a kid since milk was in a carton. Okay, judge me. It's a terrible app. It's the worst app. It's vague. me. Remember the dude who's been telling jokes for 45 minutes? Still just a joke. This is why comedy is the most frustrating job in the world. It's because this is the only job in the world that I would have to reiterate to y'all what I'm doing, that I'm just kidding. I don't mean this shit that comes out of my mouth. Rappers don't have to do that. Rappers are literally like, I fucked your bitch and killed your family. And y'all are just like, ah! They don't gotta be like, I'm just rapping, y'all. I wouldn't do nothing like that. I'm David, you know me. I wouldn't do nothing like that. So hypocritical, man. That's the one thing comedians do have over rappers, is freedom of speech. It's kind of like an unwritten rule in comedy, right? Like, you can joke about messed up stuff as long as it's funnier than it is messed up. And rappers don't get that kind of leeway. It's not fair. Like, if they admit to a crime they did on beat, they still go to jail. I don't think that's fair. Respect the artistry. Give them a chance, okay? I think if you can make a doper song than the charges you're trying to beat, you get to go home. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. All spectrums of crime, too. Can you imagine Ted Bundy in court? And they're like, you're going to jail forever. And he's like, well, wait till you hear this shit. It's a little song I call I Eat the Pussy Up, starring J. Doms. Because he's a cannibal. Okay. That one was a tough sell. That's fine. I understand. Let's see if we can get y'all back with something a little bit more level-headed that we can all kind of get on board with. Gun control? Why not, right? Can't be worse than the Wayfair shit. It is. This is way worse. If that one wasn't your shit, buckle up. This is a lot harder one to tackle. Gun control is so tricky because I see both sides. I do understand. I understand the amendment, everyone's right to have a gun. That makes sense to me, especially when it comes to things like protection or providing for your family. That makes sense. But at the same time, not everybody gets a gun, right? That's crazy. You all know somebody, you're like, this motherfucker should not have a gun, right? It's so easy to be irresponsible with a gun. When's the last time you held a gun and didn't do this shit? People freak out every time. Like, no, don't. Like, I wouldn't, but would I? It's a timeless bit. That shit has been funny for centuries. I think it's so easy to be irresponsible with a gun that I think a simple interim solution would be, it just needs to be a little bit harder to get the gun. That's all I suggest. I think there's so many in common, interest and opinion, those are the people you surround yourself with. Those are your real friends. Those are your real family. The world should not be split into like, oh, white people do this, black people do this. If you're trying to do something another culture does, you're trying to do something that you're not. Like that divides us. That does not bring us together. And it doesn't even need to be so cut and dry. It goes through all aspects of life. Comedy is like that. I'm supposed to come up here, say some relatable shit that y'all have probably kind of already thought about. We make it funny. Now we have that bond together, right? But there's still that judgment until we have that bond. Like every time I walk on stage, every dude watching is like, absolutely not. I got nothing in common with this dude. He got bangs. Like I'm not gonna think he's funny. But as soon as I come up here and say some relatable shit that we can agree on, like, who in here like big titties? All those dudes are like, well, let's give him a chance. See what these titties are talking about. Because we're not that fucking different, man. Stop dividing people just because you're uneducated or inexperienced, okay? That's why you're uncomfortable. That's why you come across as so fucking corny, and that's why you're not invited to the cookout. I'll bring the potato salad. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'll bring chairs. It's okay. Thank you guys so much. My name is Matt Rife. Thank you so much, you guys. You guys are fantastic. Get home safe, please.
To speak wife, man. And wife is a language that you learn over years of abuse. You start to figure it out after a while, you know. Wife always comes in the form of a question, you know. Oh yeah, I'll be sitting on the couch comfortably and here comes the wife. Hey, are you thinking about going to the store? To you young married men, that means you're going to the store. Don't be a dumbass and answer, no, I wasn't thinking about going to the store. No, she just told you to go to the store. Now, when you get to the store, you wait. You wait for her to text you all the things that she wants. And it's also by brand. Oh, my wife has to have a certain brand. I can't even make a decision for myself in the grocery store aisle. If I'm in the toilet paper aisle and her brand's not there, I'm the dumbass that has to FaceTime her. Hey, babe, is that one good? Can I get that one? All the other married men are like, what'd she say? What'd she say? And by the way, don't leave, right? When you've bought everything, don't leave. Because you're going to get another text that's going to say, are you still at the store? So just wait, because that shit is coming. Or sometimes she'll ask me a question in the middle of the night. I'll be asleep and she'll wake me up. Hey, is it hot in here? Well, I wouldn't know, I was asleep. How can you sleep in this heat? Well, apparently I can't. Apparently, because you can't, I now can't. And that's wife for get up and turn the thermostat to 57 degrees. And later that night, when you're freezing your balls off and your testicles have icicles, and she has now stolen all the covers, and now you really can't sleep, don't you dare wake her up. Have some respect. I didn't even know I could speak wife. I didn't know. I just thought, I mean, you figure it out after you've been married a long time, and I didn't realize that young husbands did not speak it. You know, I found out because a young man in his 20s who was married, he was with his wife. After a show, he came up to me, he goes, man, Steve, I'm a big fan, and I just want to have a drink with you tonight. And I said, well, my wife is not here, so I'm gonna have a drink. I said, I'm gonna go to that casino, I'm gonna drink Crown Royal, and I'm gonna play craps. I said, you can join me if you like. And this man, with his wife, he didn't even hesitate. He didn't even look at his wife. He goes, man, I'm gonna be there. I said, wow, you're a confident little guy, aren't you? I said, why don't you ask your wife? And then he goes, nah, man, my wife is cool. I go, wow, you just got married. He goes, how did you know? And I go, because you still think she's cool. And then he goes, babe, can I go with Steve and have a drink at the casino and play craps? And then she started to speak wife. She looked at him right in the face and she goes, you can do whatever you want. And his dumb ass goes, told you. I go, oh, no, it's a trap, it's a trap. Do not do whatever you want. You're on a date and I was not invited on your date. Go home, son, go home. There is no husband talk. Men are like dogs, ladies. It's real simple. You feed us, you give us water, you give us a toy to play with, and rub us in that spot. You know the spot. The one that gets the leg to, you know the spot. Sometimes I can't take it though, man. I've been married long enough. She speaks wife to me, and then I just talk shit back. And by the way, wife talk is not always verbal. Sometimes they can walk wife. Sometimes they have wife on their face. Like you're in the living room and here she comes. Every man knows that walk from their wife. And in our head we go, here we go. She came up to me and she goes, are you gonna pick up our son at daycare or shall I? I said, you shall. So I went to pick up my son at daycare. And then I get to the point where I'm like, I just want her to tell me what she wants. Just tell me what you want me to do. I don't need a puzzle. I don't need a riddle. I don't need a haiku. I just want you to tell me what you want. The other day I took the TV from our bedroom and I took it outside because I wanted to watch the game. Okay, later that night, it's time to go to bed. We're in the bedroom, and instead of just telling me to go get the TV, here we go. She goes, is the TV still outside? Is it in here? Do you see it in here? I go, just tell me, just say the words. I go, say, go get the TV. Can you say, go get the TV? And then she goes, is it gonna stay out there? I go, oh my God, just tell me to go get it. Tell me to go get it. Well, is it gonna get ruined? Son of a bitch! For the love of God, Jesus, Holy Mary, Mother of God, just tell me to go get it! And you know what makes me even madder? Is now she's gonna pretend like she's gonna go get it. Well, is it heavy? Motherfucker! You're not gonna go get it. It's nighttime. You're in your nightgown. Your titties are hanging out. You're not going outside. And then she started to walk like she was gonna go get it, and the man in me wouldn't let her. I go, no. And then I got the TV, and I go, wait a minute, did she make me get the TV without telling me to go get the TV? I go, okay, there it is. What are you gonna watch? And she goes, no, I just wanted it inside. And my wife's always looking out for my best interest, right? She doesn't want me to be too drunk. So when we go out drinking together, instead of asking me to stop drinking, she has to put it into a question. Right? I'll be drinking my Crown Royal, then here she comes. How many Crown Royals have you drank? I'm like, whoa, apparently this one's last. And then she'll let me order it. Instead of telling me to stop ordering, she'll let me order it. I'm like, can I get a crown on the rocks? Thank you. And then there's my wife. Do you think you need another one? Well, that's why I ordered it. Why don't you just tell me not to get one? The woman can't say thank you, I'll tell you that. Oh my God, I can't get my wife to say thank you or I'm sorry. Those words do not come out of her mouth. They come out of my mouth all the time. Oh, I always say I'm sorry. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I go, I'm sorry. I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry. I apologize. For what? I don't know. Something I'm gonna do. Something, you're the best and I'm the worst. I'm sorry. Well, my wife does something. If she does something for our family, oh, ta-da. Thank me. And I have to clap. Oh, baby, you're amazing. Wow. But in all honesty, my wife does a lot. My wife sacrifices a lot, so I tell her thank you. I send her little messages, you know, I buy her stuff. Oh yeah, I send her flowers, I buy her things. She likes things, and I buy her things. Just to let her know thank you. Just to let her know that I appreciate her. You know why? Because the woman has sacrificed for our family. She's made babies for our family. She has a beautiful home for us. Yes, and she deserves a thank you. But you know what? I do stuff too. I could use a thank you, a high five. I'll take a pat on the back. At this point, I'll take a thumbs up. That's all I need. Because I do sacrifice, and I wake up every day, and I try to be a better man today than I was yesterday. I try to be a better father to my son today than I was yesterday. I sacrifice, right? And a lot of you women are married to men like me too. They work hard. They sacrifice. Does he get a little drunk on a work day? Yes. But in the morning when it's time to go to work, does he call in sick like a little bitch? No. He wakes up like a man, still drunk. And all I'm saying, ladies, is that maybe at that moment you could pick your head up out of bed and go, you know what I get? You know what I get when I wake up before my wife? Oh my God, can you be any louder? You have to wake up the whole house? You mean the house that I'm working so hard to pay for? Well, that's good. You're supposed to do that. But do it quiet. And do it in the dark. The people that matter are sleeping. And turn the thermostat up. It's cold in here. She always speaks wife too, man. Everything I do, she speaks wife. We bought a swing set for my son, and I don't know if you've seen swing sets lately, but they're not like the ones we grew up with. Remember our swing sets that our parents put together for us? They didn't even have the courtesy to anchor them to the ground. Like, remember you would swing and the whole thing, and you'd go across the backyard. We're out there about to die, and our parents are inside blasting cigarettes, drinking whiskey. The swing set we bought for my son might as well be a second home. Oh my, there's a door and windows and a roof. And we bought it on Amazon because that's where you buy things now, you know, and you don't even know what you're buying because you don't get to see it in person. And me and my wife were picking it out together because I'm not allowed to make my own decisions. And my wife picked the biggest one, of course, because the only thing my wife blows is the budget. And we bought it. We bought it, and after we bought it, it said for $500, click right here, and we'll send you 3 guys to help you put it together. And I click no. And my wife starts to speak wife. Did you mean to click no? Yeah, I'm aware of what I'm doing. Yes, I click no. She goes, well, you're not gonna get the guys? That's what no means. And then now, when she speaks wife, she has to say things in a shitty way that hurt my feelings. Well, who's gonna put it together? I wonder who. How about me? How about me? How about I'm who? How about I'm who? You? You're me. Yes, me. I got an email from Amazon that the truck was coming with my equipment. I was outside in the driveway ready to go. I had overalls on, I was stretching, I was ready. And then an 18-wheeler came to my house. And the driver goes, "Hey man, where's the guys?" I said, "I didn't get the guys." And he goes, "Who's gonna put it together?" I said, "Me, that's who." And then he goes, "Man, you're fucked." And he left. 15 boxes in my driveway. And let me tell you something, man. When we make a decision at my house and my wife made that decision, that means that we have made a decision. And when that decision goes wrong for her, it is my job as her partner, as her teammate, to help it go right. When I make a decision that she doesn't like, that means that I have now made a decision. And when it goes wrong, is she my partner? Is she my teammate? No, she's there to make it worse. Even he knows you should have got the guys. I go, "Do you see any guys here, babe?" "There's no guys. Can you help me? I need you to help me." "I tried to help you. I told you to get the guys." "Just read the book. Can you read the book? I need you to read the instruction book." And she can't do that with a good attitude. She has to stare me down like we're about to fist fight. It's in Spanish. "Turn it around. How about you turn it around?" "Oh my God, you're just gonna yell at me? Is that why you brought me out here, so you can yell at me? Because the neighbors can hear you." "Babe, just tell me step one, please. What is step one?" "Well, step one is get guys. I already told you." And nothing makes me more mad than when my wife is right. Nothing makes me more mad. And she was right. I needed guys. And I didn't get my guys on Amazon. No way. I'm a Texan. I do ham. You guys do ham? Hire a Mexican? 3 of them showed up, stacked on top of each other. "Aquí estamos, cabrón." I was like, oh, shit. I said, "Can you guys put together that swing set?" And the main Mexican was offended. He goes, "Guys, that's a one-man job. That's easy for me." And then he fired the other Mexicans. "Beto, Juan, get out of here. That's an easy job for me." I went inside to get the book. By the time I came back, Felipe was already swinging. And I go, "How much do I owe you?" And he goes, 800. I said, 800? I said, Amazon was 500. He goes, "Oh, pues maybe you need to listen to your wife and call the guys." He goes, "By the way, when you click the guys, pendejo, I'm the guys." You guys, I'm Amazon, cabrón. A lot of you are confused. A lot of you are like, "Wait a minute, Steve, I thought you were Mexican." No, I'm Mexican-American. I'm damn proud to be Mexican-American. My father served in the Vietnam War, yeah. And now you're really confused because you're like, "Steve, I don't understand. You're Mexican-American, Felipe is Mexican. How come he was able to put together the swing set and you could not? What's the difference?" The American part. What white people need to understand is even Mexican Americans go, "Fuck that, you need a Mexican." Every generation we lose skills. There's a bunch of Mexican American women here tonight. None of these women made tamales for Christmas. That recipe died with abuelita. Hey, when the original dies, we wrap her in a corn husk and we send her down. And all the cousins at the funeral are like, oh my God, did you learn? I didn't learn. Did you? What are we gonna do now? Well, we're gonna buy them like the white people. But all you young guys that got married, listen to me, man. If you can speak wife, you can speak mother-in-law. It's the same language, just a little more assholey. Oh, my mother-in-law, man, she says things in a positive way, and she says them with a smile, but I know what she's really saying. Oh, the last time I saw her, she patted me on my belly, and she goes, oh, you look good. I told my wife, I go, did you hear what your mom said to me? She goes, what? She said you look good. I said, yeah, but you didn't hear what she said to me. But get ready, all you young men that just got married. Because when you get married, you marry her family. And that means that your family no longer exists. Oh, my wife's parents, they show up, they didn't call, they didn't let us know, they knock on the door, and there's my wife. My parents! Confetti out of her purse. My parents are here! Oh my God, my parents! My parents come once every 3 months, and there's my wife. Oh. Oh? Did we run out of confetti? What happened? Well, I'm happy they're here. Well, maybe you should tell your face. They're always welcome in our house. Not according to that caca face. But like I said, man, I got good in-laws, man. They're good people, and I got lucky with that, you know. And my father-in-law, I love that dude, man. I got a real good father-in-law, man. What's weird is my wife married a man almost exactly like her dad, which is kind of weird, you know. Oh yeah, me and him are very similar people, man. We both like to work hard, and we both like to party hard. You know, we like sports, we like to gamble. We're very similar, and I like hanging out with him because I like hanging out with me, you know. I should have married him, I'll be honest with you. We do party different, you know. I like the whiskey, and my father-in-law, he likes the weed. Oh yeah, man, he smokes the marijuana, man. And it makes him real happy, my father-in-law, when he smokes the weed. And the women in my wife's family, they don't like it when their husbands are happy, you know. So even though I don't smoke weed, I keep a little at the house just to piss her off, you know. Oh man, we go to dinner with my in-laws, right? Right? We go to dinner with them, and it's time to pay the bill. And my father-in-law, he's good, man. He'll try to pay. My wife won't let him. Daddy, please. Your money's no good, Dad. Maybe it is. I mean, we haven't even tried. Let's let the establishment decide. You know what my wife says? I go, how come we always have to pay for your parents? You know what she says? They do so much for us. That's it. They do so much for us. That's it. That's what she says. You should have seen how excited my father-in-law was to find out I was booked in Vegas. Because, you know, yeah, marijuana's legal in Vegas. And, oh, man. He came up to me. He goes, Steve, I see that we're booked in Vegas. I said, we? I go, I'm sorry, man. I'm booked in Vegas. So they came and I paid because their money's no good. And they do so much for us. I got there Wednesday night, and then my wife and my in-laws, they're not going to get there till Thursday morning, okay? 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, my wife is not the kind of wife that I can leave keys at the front desk so she can show herself to the hotel room. I got to meet her in the lobby like I'm a peasant and she's the queen. I have to show up. Your Majesty, you have arrived. Give me the royal luggage. Get on my back. You shall not walk. Follow me. So it's Wednesday night. I know I got to be in the lobby at 8 a.m. I'm in Vegas. I can't sleep, right? My buddy goes, you need to sleep? Eat this. And he hands me a little gummy bear. I know there's weed in that gummy bear, but I don't do weed, but I did need to sleep, and it was just a little gummy bear. I said, you know what? I'll just eat half, right? So I ate half, and I met God. We had a long talk. Apparently, I'm not getting in without my wife. I didn't wake up till 1 o'clock the next day. Yeah, Her Majesty was very upset in the lobby. My father-in-law, he saw me, he goes, take me to the pot store. I never been to a marijuana dispensary before, man. And it's not like a liquor store. You don't go in and get your flavor and leave. You got to talk to a pot professional. And the pot professional is a girl in her 20s, and she's wearing a lab coat like she's a real doctor. And she held up the same gummy bear. She goes, you see this gummy bear? I said, I do, yes. She goes, if you smoke weed every single day, you should eat half. I said, well, that's how I met God. She goes, but if you just want to have fun, bite the leg. That's what she said. Bite the leg and wait. Now, my wife, my mother-in-law, they're going to go see Jennifer Lopez Saturday night, right? Yeah. So my father-in-law and I, we decided since the girls are going to be gone Saturday night, we have a plan too. And our plan was to go to my show, bite the leg, and play craps. That's our plan. Right before I walk on stage, my father-in-law says, I'll meet you at the craps table. I said, yes, sir. I finish my show, it's about an hour, and I go to the craps table, no father-in-law. So I call him on the phone, and he answers the phone like this. What did you give me? It's acid, you gave me acid. I go, it's not acid, man, it's weed. He goes, well, I'm freaking out, man. I've laughed, I've cried, I'm scared. The man is in his 60s, and he goes, help me. I go, where are you? He goes, I'm staring at your face, and he hung up the phone. Those were all the clues I was gonna get. I know where my face is, I don't know where he is. It's like an episode of CSI Vegas, and the only clue I got is my face. I found him in front of a poster of me, and he was this close. The man had put himself in timeout. I tapped him on the shoulder. He turned around and he goes, hey, man, what the fuck? I said, did you bite the leg? He goes, I bit the leg, but it didn't do anything, so I ate the whole thing. And that didn't do anything, so I ate another one. I said, have you met God? He said, no. And I said, well, you better buckle up, Buttercup. You're going to be higher than giraffe pussy for the next 8 hours. Some of you just learned today that giraffe pussy is the highest pussy on earth. I saw it on your face. You were like, oh, yeah. I sat him down in a chair, and I said, hey, man, you need to relax. You need to calm down, man. It is weed. He goes, that ain't weed, man. I've been smoking weed since I was 13 years old, man. Weed don't make you feel like this, man. I'm freaking out, man. And then about an hour went by, and he goes, oh, man, it is weed. I said, you want to play craps? And we did. I watched my father-in-law play craps, and the man was happy. I've never seen him that happy because I know his wife. And I'm married to a very similar woman. I got a text message from my wife. She said, concert's over, we're on our way to you. And I was like, oh, well, this party's over. And I know a lot of you macho men, you're thinking to yourself, Steve, why don't you just text your wife not to come? Why don't you text your wife that the men are hanging out? Yeah, I don't have that kind of wife. I could text her that if I want her to get there faster. That's the kind of wife I got. My wife would show up with the text message on her phone. Read that to me. No, please, in front of your friends. What does it say? Well, It says I'm stupid. My wife got there, my mother-in-law got there. My mother-in-law saw my father-in-law high and happy, and she gave him a look of disappointment and disgust. And I know that look from her because it's the same look she gave me when I asked her if I could marry her daughter. But then I thought to myself, you know what, I'm gonna learn something today. That woman is a lot like my wife, and that man is a lot like me. And somehow they've managed to stay married for over 40 years. Yeah, 40 years. And if anybody's gonna teach me how to handle my wife, it's right now. And he turned around and ran in the other direction. I got the blame. My wife goes, oh my God, what did you do to my dad? I said, I didn't do anything to your dad, man. We had a plan, and the plan was to bite the leg. She goes, well, who paid for it? I said, me, but only because the man does so much for us. Thank you. It's funny, man. I do these shows all the time talking about my life and my wife. And sometimes I get people that hit me up and they go, why are you still married? I love my wife, that's why. I do, man. Yeah, I love my wife. Another question I get is, Steve, why? What is it about your wife that you love? And that's a complicated question for a man, especially me, because it's changed over time, you know? When I first met her, it was her ass. That's what I fell in love with. Great ass, nice legs. I'm a leg and ass man. And oh yeah, and a lot of you women are like, oh my God, Steve, that's very shallow of you. Well, I got bad news for you, ladies. That man you're sitting with tonight didn't look across the room the first time he saw you and thought to himself, I would like to have a mortgage with her. I bet we could get a good 401k going. No, he looked across the room and he said, I'm going to bone her. That's what I said, and I did. I got her in my sack. And then she didn't leave. All the others would leave, and she stayed. So I did it again. And she still stayed. And then I started loving her for staying. I did. I started to love her for staying, and I started to hang out with her. And she turned out to be a really good person. And she was funny. And she had a good sense of humor, and we would party together. And I fell in love with that, man. And then I started to hate her. I'm like, why are you still here? She's like, well, I'll leave. I'm like, then leave. You're a cock blocker. And then she left. And for the first time, I wanted her to come back. And I said, why did you leave? And she goes, because you're an asshole. And I said, well, if I'm a little less of an asshole, will you come back? And she did, dummy. And then to make sure that she wouldn't leave again, I asked her to marry me. And she said yes. And I was like, dummy. She did. She said yes. And we got married, and I fell in love with her on my wedding day because I thought to myself, this woman has signed a contract with me and she knows my credit score. But she believed in me. But then we made a baby together, man. Yeah, we made a baby together. She gave me a family, and I fell in love with her again. And the point of this story to all you young guys that just got married is you have to fall in love with your wife over and over and over again. Yes. Because if you're in love with tits and ass, that shit goes away. You better love her for something else. I mean, we still have a gym membership, and I encourage. Oh. Like, hey, babe, let's keep that ass in shape. But that has been the biggest issue in our relationship is my love for my wife. That's the biggest problem that we have. Oh, no, we're at a point where she knows I love her, so she takes advantage of me. Oh man, she wants things, she asks for things, and because I love her so much, I break my back to give her all the things that she wants, you know? Yeah, it's true. And a lot of you women in this room don't realize, like me, your husband loves you so much that when you ask, that man breaks his back to give it to you. And what I'm trying to say in this therapy session is, hey ladies, how about sometimes don't ask? Maybe you love him enough to shut the fuck up. But you don't and you won't. There's not a woman in here that felt bad right now. Every woman here just laughed and slapped you on the leg. You know you're my favorite employee. Yeah. That's all I am. I'm my wife's employee. I work for my wife. She is the boss. I've been fired, but somehow I wake up still at work. I don't know how that works. I'm afraid to quit. I know she's not going to give me a good reference. I know she's not. She's also in charge of HR, which is bullshit. Sometimes we have to have meetings. Come here. Why did you say that? Well, it's funny. That's why I said it. We went on vacation last year, and I don't like vacations. I'm not a vacation guy. I know a lot of guys here that can do nothing all day. That's not me. Guys like me, we're never on vacation. We're at the vacation. My wife is on vacation, and I am her employee. I'm the cabana boy. I have to follow her with all the lawn chairs and the wagon and the Yeti and the sand toys and the canopy, and I'm sweating my ass off pulling that through the sand. And all she has is a big bag with a towel in it. Set it up. She wants to tell me how to do it too. Put the canopy first. And after I set everything up, my next job is to be her Instagram photographer. And I don't know why she gives me that job. All she does is shit on my work. Every time I take a picture of her, let me see it. Do you even know how to take pictures? I got new shoes. You should know that. Get high. She wants to change locations. Follow me to the water. Okay, now to the pier. Let's get one on the pier. 400 pictures I've taken of this woman to watch her sit in a lawn chair and delete them in front of me. She just sits there and looks at me with an asshole face. Just, no. Why? No. Blurry. Why? Unusable. I've worked all day. Now it's time to go. Pick it up. Let's go. Wrap it up. Let's go. Come on, cabana boy. Let's go. We get in the car and there's my wife. Oh my God, I had fun. I know, I follow you on Instagram. You got a great life, honey. Great life. Horrible photographer. But we did, man. We went on vacation because I love my wife. I asked my wife, I said, when would you like to go on vacation? And she said 4th of July weekend. And I was happy about that because I love this country and I love to celebrate this country. And I love 4th of July. So I said, yeah. I asked my wife, I said, what are we going to do on 4th of July weekend? She said, we're going to stay home. Let's just stay home. Just be a family together. Just us and probably my parents, but just us. I said, okay. By the way, this vacation turns out to be the worst vacation of my life and turns out to be the best vacation of her life. And it was the same vacation. Monday morning, we wake up on our vacation. My wife is loading our dining room chairs into my truck. I go, what are you doing? She goes, I'm taking these chairs to my mom. We're going to give them to her. Now, people, I could give a crap about the chairs. I don't want them in my truck. I told her that. I said, not in my truck. See, people, that's my truck. I grew up in a little town called Gregory, Portland, Texas. That's where I grew up. Yeah. And in that town is a bunch of farmers, refinery workers, pipe fitters, welders, hard-working people. And growing up, all I ever wanted was a Z71 Chevy Silverado, man. That's all I ever wanted. Yep. And I got it. And now she's loading chairs into it. I would say where I come from, that is a perfect truck for me, right? Humble, right? Hardworking. By the way, me and my wife grew up in the same town, same hardworking town. You would think that my wife would pick out a car that reflects where we come from. Oh, not her. She drives a Land Rover because her vagina only touches heated Italian leather. We come a long way from the Altima I found her in. I go, why don't you put those chairs in your Land Rover? She goes, I don't want them in my Land Rover. Why can't we take your truck? I said, we can't take my truck, baby, because I love that truck. She goes, so? And I go, and if you drive it when I fish, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fish. And when I fish, you're going to drive that truck. She goes, what's wrong with that? I said, you have wrecked every vehicle that you've ever driven. And I don't want you to wreck my truck. But because I love my wife, we took my truck. I'm fishing with my dad. I get a text message from my wife. And it reads, hey, no big deal. Any man that speaks wife already knows what's about to happen. No big deal. Call me when you're done fishing. ... This is how I knew I was fucked. ... Have fun. I go, oh, she wrecked my truck. She never wants me to have fun. I called her up. First thing that comes out of her mouth is, don't be mad. I go, you wrecked my truck. And she goes, aren't you worried about me? I said, I'm not. You're talking to me. You're fine. What happened to my truck? You know those poles they put around gas station pumps? Yeah, they're there for my wife. If they weren't there, gas stations would be burning all over the country. I don't even know what my wife is doing in a gas station. My wife doesn't pump her own gas. I'm the asshole that pumps her gas. Yes. My wife's the kind of wife that she'll run out of gas in her car and call me and go, well, you fucked up. You ran out of gas in my car. I go, what were you doing in the gas station? She goes, I was pulling through. Not only did she wreck my truck, she continued to wreck my truck. Here's the truck. Well, she started to wreck it here. She was like, oh my God, I think I'm wrecking it. Let's really fuck it up. It's kind of fucked up that I'm the size of the pole right now. She wrecked it here, and she's like, you know what? Let's just finish the job. Let's... I go, did you not feel that? And she goes, oh my God, the whole truck was like that. I go, so then why didn't you stop it from going like that? And she goes, well, that's why I went faster. Can we take it off now? Okay, we don't need to keep seeing it. I told that story at a show. A woman fell out of her chair laughing. I go, why are you laughing so hard? She goes, because I wrecked his truck. And she goes, twice. And the husband goes, I'm out of here. And he got up and left. That's not even the funny part. His wife stayed. The man left, she stayed. I go, your husband has left you. And then she goes, well, he's a grown man. I'm having fun. He'll figure it out. Woo! Yep, and all the women were like that. Go, girl. You do you, boo. Do you. Let me tell you something right now. If a woman stood up tonight and said, let's go, I assure you her husband would be like, I think we're leaving. There's no way that that man stays. And if he did stay, every woman in here would just stare at him. They would just... Hey, buddy, your wife has left you. Yeah, well, she's a grown woman. She'll figure it out. I'm having fun. Woo! Look how quiet it got. And it's not even a real... It's not even a real person, and you girls got upset. Every one of you would be like, oh my God, what a piece of shit. You don't treat people like that. My wife said to me one time, treat me the same. Ha! We would be divorced. She doesn't put up with her. She would never put up with her. That was the first day of my vacation. She wrecks my truck. Now I gotta find a Chevy shop. And I don't know where the Chevy shop is. I drive a Chevy. If I drove a Ford, I'm pretty sure I would know where the shop was. Oh, I love that joke because all the Ford guys just cross their arms. What the hell, buddy? I drive a Ford 250. It's badass. On the back, it says Super Duty. You know who makes the Super Duty? My 3-month-old. I mean, at least it's a Ford. I had a guy at a show go, Dodge! And the whole crowd was like, oh. I guess he's on a budget. Oh yeah, she wrecks my truck. First day of our vacation. It gets worse, people. I wake up Tuesday morning, my wife comes up to me and says, I have to go to New York. And I'm leaving tomorrow with my mom. I have to go for 4 days. I said, you're gonna take a vacation of your vacation? I said, why do you have to go to New York? Well, my little sister-in-law got picked for a TV show called Say Yes to the Dress. I don't know if you ladies watch that show, but she is on the first episode of this season. They took 50 couples, 50 different states, and they got married in Central Park in New York City. I encourage you to watch the episode. My sister-in-law is married to a man in the Navy who is an officer in the Navy, and that's why they're in Hawaii, yeah. So look for the Navy couple. You'll see my wife, you'll see my mother-in-law, you'll see my sister-in-law. They got a lot of TV time because they cause the most drama. But I told my wife, I said, you are right. You have to go. There's no way you're going to miss your sister getting married in Central Park on a TV show. And you have to take your mom. That's a great memory. I said, the best part about it is the TV show's going to pay. And she goes, no, you are. And I was like, oh, my God, yes. I was hoping that you would wreck my truck, and then I could reward you with an all-expense-paid vacation to New York City. And you know what? It gets better. Take your mom. Take her. Yeah, she does so much for you. Take you. It gets worse. The very night that she wrecked my truck, that night, I couldn't be more pissed off. And any man in here that the wife has wrecked your truck, you know the feeling. You're pissed. I was pissed off. That night we're laying in bed and my wife goes, I'm ovulating. You're gonna wreck my truck and now you want good dick? Like, what kind of savage wrecks a man's truck and then expects to get good dick that night? Like, no, I'm not gonna give you the Texas Twinkie. Like, I mean, I did it, but I was mad. At one point, she started to like it. I pulled it out. I said, you will not enjoy this dick. I said, I don't even want to see your face. Turn it around. And I had a picture of my truck on my phone. Wrecks my truck, gets good dick, 4 days, all expense paid vacation to New York City. And it gets worse. See, my wife bought a house that we're gonna flip it. We're gonna flip a houses. That's the new job we're in. Oh yeah, we're the only people that's gonna flip a house and lose money. That's me and my wife. Oh yeah. Remember the guy that put together our swing set, Felipe? Well, that's our general contractor. We like Felipe because we don't need permits with the city or anything. You know. Hey, Felipe, we need a permit? Nah, guy, I'm gonna work at night, cabrón. See? I hammer real quiet. I hammer, así. Quiet, cabrón. So I told you, I'm a hard worker and my wife's in New York City. I might as well work on the house, right, fellas? Yeah. I called up Felipe. I said, meet me at the house, Felipe. I need you to put in the wooden fence, okay? Now, the job I gave myself was a bad idea. I gave myself the job of putting insulation in the attic. Now, I live in New Braunfels, Texas, and it was 4th of July weekend, and it was 104 degrees outside, and oh yeah, and it was 3,000 degrees in the attic. My left nut was touching my right Achilles tendon. I always wonder why old men wear socks up to here. Now I know, that's so you can tuck your ball into the sock. Man, I was sweating so bad I had to take a break, you know? And when I took a break, I looked over to see if Felipe was working on the fence, and he was. But what surprised me, his wife was helping him. I'm gonna go ahead and say that again, ladies. His wife was helping him. Now, she wasn't bringing him water. This woman had a post hole digger, and she was... 5'3" in a prom dress and flip-flops. Like, I said, Felipe, is that your wife? He goes, hey, the guys couldn't make it today. So I said, Margarita, chingale, vieja, let's go. Today, you're the guys. And at that moment, my wife calls me from New York City, Captain Evil herself. And I know not to answer the phone, but I'm not allowed not to. And I answered the phone. This is what my wife said to me. This is what she said to me. She goes, I'm in Central Park right now, and it could not get any hotter. What did you just say to me? Margarita's in a prom dress and flip-flops. She's on hole number 8. Hasn't taken a break. I said, thank God you're not on speakerphone, man. Because if Margarita heard you, she'd jump through the phone and fuck you up. Man, I worked my ass off. I probably worked 9 hours that day. And I said, you know what? I've been through a lot this week. I need to reward myself with a good meal. That's what men like, ladies. We like a good meal. Yeah. So I went to Chick-fil-A. Oh, I like Chick-fil-A. That's the best drive-thru in all of drive-thru history. Oh my God. You don't even have to stop driving your truck. You just keep driving and little baby Jonathan follows you with the tablet. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I said, Jonathan, I'm gonna do the chicken sandwich. And he goes, the meal? I said, Jonathan, does it look like I don't do the meal? He said, small, medium, or large. I said, Jonathan, I'm gonna need every waffle fry in that motherfucker. I said, I'm gonna do the lemonade. He said, sugar-free. I said, I'm gonna fuck you up, Jonathan. My wife's in New York right now. I don't need her speaking wife through you. He said, my pleasure. I got my Chick-fil-A. I went back to the house. And I was so happy to lock up, sit down on the porch, and enjoy my meal. When I looked in the front yard, Margarita had rolled out a blanket underneath the tree. There was a tiger on that blanket. Felipe was sitting on that blanket with his back up against the tree like a king. Margarita had taken ice and sat it on his ball sack. She had one of those camping stoves and carnitas were being cooked right there. I could smell them. She was on her hands and knees making tortillas. And there I was with my Chick-fil-A and no wife. I guess we all make decisions in life. Now, what you need to understand is that Margarita and Felipe came to our country because they want the American dream. And they don't even want it for themselves. They want it for their kids and their grandkids. They do. I happen to be one of those grandkids. And I live the American dream today. I do. And I want to make sure people understand that the American dream is alive and well. And if you work your ass off in this country, you too can have the American dream. Yeah. I have what Felipe wants for his grandchildren. But at that moment, Felipe felt sorry for me. He saw me with my Chick-fil-A and he went, oh. He goes, Trevino, you work hard. I said, thank you. Somebody noticed? He goes, do you like tacos? I said, I do like tacos. But I don't have a wife that knows how to make them. And then he goes, Margarita, más tacos. And she went faster. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I crashed their homemade dinner and he asked her to make me food and she didn't punch him? They didn't have a meeting? Somebody crashes my dinner at my house, oh, there's a meeting. And the meeting happens in front of that person. They just don't see it. We're at the table and my wife's there. And I think of all the times that my wife will look at me in the face and she'll say, babe, we're teammates. I don't think we are. I think I work for you. But if you remember anything tonight, remember this. WWMD. What would Margarita do? Next time you complain about your fucking badass life, you remember, what would Margarita do? That's right. Remember that. I tell that story, man, because we had an amazingly rough year. We did, but it taught us something. It taught us one thing, that we need to appreciate the little things. We need to realize that we live in this great country of ours. And we have to look at all the things that we do have. And you have to ask yourself how we have these things. We have these things because men and women volunteer to defend it. And that's the U.S. military. Give them a big round of applause, please.